How did we arrive at the current state of affairs in the ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine? Today, we're taking a deep dive into the timeline of events to bring some clarity to this complex issue. Our story begins in February 2021, with Gaza receiving its first shipment of COVID-19 vaccines. These 2,000 doses of Russia's Sputnik V vaccine were sent by the Palestinian Authority from the occupied West Bank, with Israel granting approval for the transfer. This action, however, was not without controversy. Right-wing Israeli politicians criticized the move, wishing to make the vaccine delivery conditional on the release of 2 Israeli civilians believed to be held captive by Hamas. Fast forward to May of the same year, and we find ourselves in the midst of an 11-day fight between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Israeli businesses lost an estimated $368 million during this period, mainly due to employees opting to stay home because of the rocket fire from Gaza. In Gaza, the heavy Israeli bombardment caused an estimated $40 million in damage to factories and the industrial zone, along with $22 million in damage to the energy sector. The conflict took a heavy toll on both sides. In Gaza, 16,800 housing units sustained damage, with 1,800 rendered unfit for living and another 1,000 completely obliterated. The power supply was drastically cut, reducing to 3 to 4 hours a day from the previous 12. Palestinians had limited or no access to water facilities, exacerbating an already dire humanitarian crisis. Israel's economy, which had already contracted by 6.5% in the first quarter due to the pandemic, faced further hurdles due to the conflict. The loss to the economy from May 11th to 13th alone reached $166 million, excluding damage to factories. The disruption of trade and shipping by rockets from Gaza forced tankers to divert to other ports and flights to be suspended or diverted from Ben Gurion Airport. As the conflict extended into its 4th day, residents of the Gaza Strip endured a 3rd night of terror and darkness. The Israeli military declared a full siege, cutting off water and power supplies, and launched attacks on over 200 locations in the Gaza Strip overnight. In retaliation, Hamas threatened to execute an Israeli captive for every civilian house bombed without warning. On the diplomatic front, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken reaffirmed Washington's support to secure the release of all hostages held by Hamas. The U.S. began delivering critically needed munitions and military equipment to Israel. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called for an end to the vicious circle of bloodshed, hatred, and polarization. In a joint statement, U.S. President Joe Biden, along with the leaders of Germany, the UK, France, and Italy, condemned the attacks on Israel by Hamas and expressed their steadfast and united support for Israel. They acknowledged the legitimate aspirations of the Palestinian people and supported justice and freedom for Israelis and Palestinians alike. In summary, the ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine is a complex issue with a long and intricate history. The events of 2021 represent just a snapshot of this enduring struggle, marked by a series of actions and reactions, each with its own set of consequences. As the world watches, the hope remains for a peaceful resolution that respects the rights and aspirations of all involved.